because when you get to that 11th and 12th rep, I mean, you need to be straining, all right? The blood vessels need to be sticking out of your neck. Hey guys, Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic. Today, I want to talk to you about how to get stronger after the age of 50. First off, so many people our age, my friends, your friends, just tend to give up. They think that you can't get stronger as you get older. And I'm not even talking about body fat give up. I'm talking about just strength-wise give up. And that is not the case. I promise, guys, you can get a whole lot stronger. And some of you guys who didn't work out and weren't very strong when you were young, you guys are really going to be amazed at how much stronger you can get, how much progress you can make after the age of 50. It's just not that hard. All it takes is just some dedication, some consistency, and knowing what you're doing. Now, there's lots of reasons why we should want to get stronger. One of which, and I guarantee you experience this in your daily life, is just normal things that you've been doing for decades seem to get harder and harder as we get older. All right, and I don't care whether it's mowing the lawn or picking up your heavy suitcases, you know, when you're going traveling, or picking up the kids or whatever, all right? It gets harder and harder, not because you're getting older, it's getting harder because you're getting weaker. And that is something you can change, guys. I see this all the time. People, especially as they're getting much older, in their 70s and 80s, they will fall and break their hip or break their arm, okay? That is something we can avoid just by getting stronger and maintaining that strength as we get old. There's no reason why you should trip over a 1/4-inch crack in the sidewalk and break your hip or your arm. You should be able to either keep your balance, okay, or if you do fall down, you should be able to catch yourself with your hands without breaking your arm, okay? You're only falling from a 1/4 inch, right? You're not falling off the roof. That's a completely different thing. And then the other thing is, guys, you should want to build strength as we get older, okay? You should want to stay physically strong well into your 50s, 60s, and 70s for lots of reasons. Now, for me, there is, an ego reason, all right? I'm not married, so I'm still chasing women. So I want to look good, all right? And looking good means muscle, and muscle, of course, means strength. But guys, it's more than just that. I want to be able to take care of myself if something bad happens. You guys been watching the news lately? For goodness sakes, all kinds of crazy shit is happening out there. So one thing that I've noticed about me is that, I don't have random strangers coming up to me, trying to, intimidate me. I just look bigger. I look like somebody they don't want to mess with, but even if I didn't look that way, I need to be able to protect myself, my girlfriend, your wife, whoever else, your other buddies that you're around. I mean, people are getting in fights on the subways, on the buses, just walking down on the street corner. I mean, just on and on and on. So there's lots of reasons why you should want to get stronger even after the age of 50, and I'm going to give you some tips on how to do that in just a second. Okay, guys, so tip number 1 is something called progressive overload. Now, this, of course, relates to lifting weights, okay? So what I see so many guys doing wrong, especially us older guys, is they are just not pushing yourselves hard enough, okay? You start your workout program and you're happy with the results. You're losing fat. Yes, you get stronger, you put on some muscle, and you do this. You just stay there. You get happy, all right? And even though you're working out week after week, month after month, you're not getting any stronger. It's because you're doing the same amount of weight week after week after week, all right? So the only way to build muscle and to get stronger is to progressively overload those muscles, which means, guys, when you're working out, you have to take notes, all right? Write down on your workout program how much weight you're using, how many bands you're using if you're using bands, okay? You need to keep track of that. How many reps you're doing, how many sets you're doing, okay? I know it takes just a few seconds, all right, but you have to do that because I know you're not gonna be able to increase and overload those muscles every single week. But once you get to the point where you're doing 10, 12, 15 reps of the same weight week after week after week, it is time to move on. You guys need to increase that resistance, okay? You have to push yourselves harder. And part of that is just the intensity level, all right? So I can see a video of anybody, okay? You could send me some videos of yourself doing an exercise. And let's say my program tells you to do 12 reps of some particular exercise. And I can watch that video and I can just look at the strain on your face, in your neck, okay? And I can tell if you're pushing yourself hard, right? Because if you're trying to get to 12 reps, all right, and let's say you're doing some dumbbell chest presses and you do 9, 10, 11, and 12, whew, and put it down. I know that you could have done 5 or 6 or 7 more reps if I was standing there holding a gun to your head, right? So you're not pushing yourself. That intensity is not there, all right? You need to load those muscles with more weight because when you get to that 11th and 12th rep, I mean, you need to be straining, all right? The blood vessels need to be sticking out of your neck, right? And I'm not talking about guys that are just beginning, all right? You do that, if you're a beginner, you're gonna be so sore you're not gonna be able to move for the next week. So I'm talking about guys who are already in a workout program, all right, and you've seen yourself plateau and you don't think you can get stronger. It's really, you need to push yourself out of that comfort zone. You need to track your workouts by writing down how much weight you're using. You need to increase the intensity because if you're trying to build muscle and get stronger, the only way to do that is to really push yourself to the point of exhaustion on almost every set. All right, so guys, tip number 2 actually partially points back to and relates to tip number 1, and that is you need to be mentally focused when you're getting into your workout, all right? So you need to have the energy, you need to be mentally alert, you need to be kind of excited about it, you need to be hyped up. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to push yourself hard enough, right? So you need to fuel your workouts, all right? And so, you know, proper nutrition is part of it, but this is what I do, all right? This is my little simple trick because it's so simple and it tastes great. I like to use a pre-workout. If you all have never tried a pre-workout, trust me, just give it a shot. A lot of you guys are gonna fall in love with it. Some of y'all are gonna say, I can't tell the difference one way or another, but it's gonna be a small percentage. We have a fantastic pre-workout called Anabolic ATP. And it's designed specifically for us, for older guys. I think it's designed for men over 40 roughly. So all the ingredients are listed on our website. If you click the link below this video, it'll take you. It's got all these ingredients I can't remember, all right? So I say this all the time. We got so many ingredients, I don't even attempt to memorize them, but our website is fantastic. It tells you not only what the ingredients are, but why they're in there, what they do for you. And the other thing is, guys, we got the best guarantee in the fitness industry. All you gotta do is send us an email. You don't even have to mail the empty bottle back, all right? Just tell us it didn't work for you and we'll refund your money. So it's basically a no-risk guarantee, but guys, I love this stuff. I've shot videos where I actually mix this stuff with carbonated water. It's sugar-free carbonated water, I love it. And it fizzes up and it just makes me feel super alert and really focused, like I just wanna get into the gym and just throw a bunch of weights around. So give it a try, guys, because I promise, if you're feeling sluggish when you go in and start your workouts, it's gonna be so much harder to do tip number 1, and that is use progressive overload. All right, tip number 3, guys, is nutrition. So let's say you're doing everything right, tip 1 and tip 2, all right? You're really killing it, you know, you're pushing yourself, you're increasing the resistance, that progressive overload. You're taking your pre-workouts, the workouts are great. But if you're not getting proper nutrition throughout the week, you're not gonna get 100% of the potential benefit, of the potential strength gains out of those workouts. And so that's the thing that I tell friends that I'm working out with or people I'm training personally is dude, you're putting forth a ton of effort in the gym or at home doing your home workouts, all right? You're killing it, but you're only getting 70% of the potential results because you're not eating right. You're not getting enough protein in your diet every day, all right? So why waste, all right, part of that effort that you're throwing into your workouts because you're just not getting the correct nutrition? So guys, protein is the building block for muscle. That's probably the most important macro nutrient that you need to focus on. So how much protein do you need to eat? Well, I would say shoot for around 0.7 of a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So, and that goes all the way up to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. It kind of depends on how hard you're pushing it, what your age is, what your body type is like, things like that. But that's a real good range. So if I weigh 200 pounds and I want to get 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, of course, that means I need to eat 200 grams of protein per day. Now, some days I might get 170, some days I might get 210. All right, it doesn't have to be perfect day in and day out. But guys, if I'm only eating 120 grams of protein on average day in and day out, I'm not gonna get all the potential muscle growth and strength gains out of my workouts because there's just not enough protein in our system to rebuild all those damaged muscles that we created when we were working out, okay? So that's one thing, guys. When you're really hitting it hard, when you're doing tip number 1 the way you're supposed to, you're damaging your muscles. You're creating millions of little microscopic tears all over your body, okay, in those muscles. And they need protein to heal those tears. And of course, our body's pretty smart. So when it rebuilds those muscle fibers and it repairs those micro tears, your body says, we need to make this muscle just a tiny bit bigger and a tiny bit stronger so that it doesn't happen again. And of course, that's what we're trying to do again and again and again. We tear the muscle down and the body is smart. It slightly overcompensates so that muscle gets a little bigger and a little stronger. You do that often enough with the proper nutrition, and guess what? You will see a ton of strength gain. All right, so tip number 4, sleep. Guys, sometimes this one's harder to implement than it is for me to explain to you, but guys, sleep is really, really important. So first off, when is your body recovering and when is your body healing all those damaged muscle fibers I just mentioned in tip number 3? Well, most of it occurs while you're sleeping, believe it or not. And another thing that mostly occurs during your sleep, your body's production of hormones, especially testosterone. Plus there's all kinds of other wonderful hormones that our body creates, and most of those hormones are produced while we're sleeping. So if we're not getting enough sleep day in and day out, then once again, we're not producing as much testosterone as we would like to. We're not giving our muscles enough time to recover and rebuild. So you go back to tip number 1, you're killing it. Your workouts, you're just going to exhaustion. You're breaking those muscle fibers down and you're eating right, and you're fueling your workouts with, supplements and all that kind of stuff. But then you're only getting 4 hours of sleep a night and you're just exhausted. Once again, you're not going to get 100% of the benefit out of your workouts because your muscles just don't have time to repair themselves and you're not producing enough of those good hormones, i.e. testosterone, which is used to take the protein that you're eating and convert it into new muscle tissue. So guys, sleep is really important. All right, now I know for some guys it's really tough, but you are gonna have to find a way to get enough sleep into your daily routine. And I get it, some days you're not. It doesn't have to be perfect every single day, but on average, I would say 5 days out of the week, you need to be getting enough sleep. And so what is enough? Well, it's a little different for everybody. But typically, all right, all these studies point to around 7 hours, maybe even 8 hours, all right? Some people are just freaks of nature and they can get by on 5 hours of sleep and feel fantastic and look great. I'm not one of those people. Okay, I need about probably 8 hours. All right, so if I don't get my 8 hours, I'm feeling a little groggy and it accumulates, all right? So guys, figure out a way to prioritize your sleep. All right, guys, so 4 tips on how to get stronger after 50. And trust me, It really is not that hard. It is something you can do, especially if you've kind of neglected yourself over the previous decades. You're going to be blown away by how much stronger you can get, even into your 50s, 60s, and 70s. It is something you can do, but remember, it ain't going to happen overnight. You got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.